Let's take a look at something on the rogue side of Standard. It's Gengar Inteleon. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to take a look at Gengar from Chilling Reign. It's a really interesting Pokemon with lots of interesting effects. So let's jump across onto PTCGO and see how we can make this thing work in Standard. So here is our deck list if you like it. It's down in the description. And whilst you're there, if you could leave a like, if you want to see more of these rogue decks, then jump in and hit that like button. Looking for 500 likes on this video, and I'll do something just as janky next time. Let's talk about Gengar. This is our brand new Gengar from Chilling Reign. It's a 130 HP Psychic type Stage 2, which, frankly, 130 HP is not a lot for a Stage 2, but that's okay, because we've got two bits of really interesting text that we can utilize. Firstly, the ability Last Gift means that when we get knocked out, we can search our deck for 2 cards and put them into our hand. So any 2 cards we like, as soon as our Gengar is knocked out, we can grab them into our hand for our next turn. And we also have the attack Pain Burst, which for 3 colorless energy deals 10 damage plus 40 more for every damage counter on your opponent's defending Pokemon. So we can deal quite a substantial amount, a significant amount of damage with this Gengar if everything goes correctly, but we do have to put damage on our opponent's active first. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and utilize the Quick Shooting Inteleon. To do that extra damage, we'll use Quick Shooting, get 2 damage counters for every Inteleon we have in play. We're playing a 4-4-3 line of the Inteleon, so we should be able to get at least a couple out in the early game pretty regularly. That will be how we'll usually put damage on, but we can also put damage on our opponent's active Pokemon by using Old Symmetry. This means that whenever a player attaches an energy card to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, that Pokemon takes 2 damage counters. So that means if they attach an energy in their turn, they take a bunch of damage. Combine that with Inteleon and combine that with our Gengar's Pain Burst attack, and we should be looking at some pretty substantial knockouts. Now, I've also got another way to deal some extra damage if we'd like it. That is by using the old Gengar from, I think this is from Unbroken Bonds. I'm not entirely sure. I'm 99% that's what that symbol is. Regardless, if we are playing up against a deck that has GX Pokemon in it, we can use this Gengar and utilize the Shadow Pain ability, which means that when we evolve it, we put 6 damage counters on our opponent's EX or GX Pokemon in any way we like. That's a very, very useful bit of damage that we can use to get Pokemon like ADP or Dedenne GX into range of being knocked out very, very quickly. It also gives us access to the Twilight Poison attack, but that's not necessarily as important. One last thing that is obviously quite important in our deck is our basic. I don't normally talk about basics, but Gastly has a really, really cool ability called Swelling Spite, which means that when it gets knocked out by your opponent's attack, we can search our deck for 2 Haunters and put them straight onto our bench. So we almost want our Gastlies in the active on our first turn to get knocked out by our opponent, because we'll be able to search out 2 of our Haunters, which can then evolve directly into Gengar. Now, this deck is a little bit of a mess. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's 100% perfect, but it is definitely workable, and I think it's pretty fun, especially if you are playing on the mid to low tier of the ladder. The first game that I'm going to show you, because I've already recorded the gameplay, is using a slightly different deck. I didn't have the Snorlaxes in it, but to be honest, Snorlax didn't come up in the other game that I played either, so it barely makes a difference. Hopefully you enjoy the games, and I'll see you at the end for the grade. Time to get started with Gengar. We have an interesting, if not good, hand. A Gastly in the active is very good. We do have the Shadow Pain Gengar in our hand, as well as a Sobble, which is fantastic. We've got Old Symmetry, which, to be honest, would be a fantastic card to start with, but we look at our opponent's side of the field and we see only Psychic Pokemon, so maybe Old Symmetry not quite as useful as it could have been. Regardless, I still think we're going to play it down just to make sure that our opponent's only attaching those Psychic energy to their Psychic Pokemon. Oh yikes, this is an abysmal turn. We're gonna pass on that. We've at least got Drizziles for the turn after, and if they do knock out the Gastly, then maybe we could do something. It's not great, but that's okay. We can work with this. It's not a problem. I don't want you guys to think that we're out here struggling. So it's definitely not what we're doing. Also, yeah, if you like the video, then like the video. If you haven't subscribed, then subscribe. Do all the things that make me happy. That would be fantastic, considering, you know, this Gengar deck's a disaster. As far as I'm concerned so far. They're going to Shadow Mist, which is not a huge attack for us, but you know what? It's acceptable. We grab another Sobble, and we can Drizzile here. So, we can do a couple of things with this Drizzile. I think a Level Ball's probably not too bad. We can obviously research if we want to, but my gut feeling, I'm gonna actually just sit behind this Gastly for one more turn. We will Level Ball, grab another Gastly, and then pass. Our opponent only has 3 cards in their hand, so if they choose to take a knockout on the Gastly in the active, that's fine by me. But I don't want to research this hand away because the Drizzile and the Inteleon are both very important, and I figure, you know, our opponent's only taking 1 prize at a time. We may as well let them take the knockout on the Gastly if they can get it. That way, we give ourselves a pretty solid chance to get into our Gengars next turn. And our opponent has elected to do nothing, which is spectacular for us. We can now play down Inteleon. I'm going to play down Drizzile. I think now we're at the point where I'm going to need to draw some cards. I mean, we could get like a rare candy and evolve into our Gengar in our hand, but I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. The only GX that they've got is Trevnoir. I think it is time for Professor's Research. We will Evo Incense into only 1 Haunter. Okay, well, there you go. Our plan to get a bunch of Haunter out with Swelling Spite was never going to happen. And now suddenly we need more Gastlies. Luckily, we've got one. And we've got another Sobble as well. We can Quick Shooting. I'm going to put the Quick Shooting damage on the Calyrex in the active. It's probably not the right choice in hindsight, having clicked that button now. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Our opponent's not done anything. They're bricking a little bit. So they're giving us a chance, which is always, always good. Looks like they're going to attach to their Trevenant Dusknoir and then Shadow Mist again. Okay, so now we are in the Ascendancy. We have a Drizzile, which we can utilize here. I like that. We are going to search our deck for a Evolution Incense. We are going to play that. We're going to grab ourselves a Gengar. And I think we're going to rare candy into that Gengar. That seems like a very intelligent thing to do. I'm going to Quick Shooting the active. We're going to do that. And then we're going to go for the triple acceleration energy. We are going to research. Hopefully we hit that. We don't. It's unfortunate. We do have a second Inteleon, however, which is good. Let's Quick Shooting. This time I will put that damage onto the Trevnoir, just in case, because I feel like our opponent is going to attack with that this turn. I mean, neither of us have really done anything, but at least now, instead of having the Gastly in the active, we have the last gift Gengar, which means that if they do knock us out, even though they will randomly shuffle 2 cards from our hand away, we'll actually get to search for 2 cards as well. So, looks like they do have that energy. They have the switch as well. They're going to Night Watch and shuffle 2 cards from this hand into the deck, switch and rare candy, and we are going to search for 2 cards. So I'm going to grab a Gengar, I think, and a triple acceleration energy. That seems pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. And this is the thing, right? Once you get the Gengar out, suddenly the game is much easier. And this is part of the reason why I don't like the other Gengar. It's obviously really, really cool. It's a cool ability to utilize, but sometimes I just don't like it because I just wish I had 4 of these other Gengars. But that's okay. You can cut it out if you like. I don't really care. It's up to you. Alright, we've got an attack. We've got Quick Shooting as well. I think if we put both of the Quick Shooting onto this Trevnoir, we will take a knockout. Would we have done it with 4? I think we needed both of them. 250 goes to 310. Yeah, we needed both of them because we only cleared by 60, so we would have missed by 20. So, I mean, we could have potentially gone for a different approach there and like left it on 20 HP, but I think this is a better choice. We have a whole bunch of stuff in our hand and our opponent's conceded. Count that as victory number 1. We're into another game. I have made some slight consistency changes, so if I didn't bring it up in the beginning of the video, then I definitely am now. I've gotten rid of a couple of cards. Like, I had a whole bunch of extra energy, like Twin Energy and I think Horror Psychic Energy as well, which could obviously work, but I just felt like it wasn't really doing anything. So I've put in a couple of Snorlaxes, and we'll see if that makes a difference. At the moment, nothing is really going to make a difference because we don't have a Gastly. We do have a Quick Ball and a Level Ball, and we're playing up against Tornadus. So I think we could potentially have ourselves a game here. We will wait and see. We've got a Sobble off of the top deck. We can Quick Ball the Marnie away. Let's grab ourselves a Gastly. Then we can play that down. We can play down the Level Ball. I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of Pokemon here. Let's get all of our basics onto the bench and then research. Hopefully we can draw into a solid card. We've actually got a switch, which I like. We could switch into the Gastly here, and if they knock it out, that means we can get 2 Haunters into play. I think that's how it works. I don't know whether we promote before. Do we promote before? I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the right decision. Regardless, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, alright? Don't stress. I don't know what you're stressing for. You just need to be patient with me. So they're set. Their Tornadus VMAX is set, and they're gonna boss. Okay, so they're not gonna worry about risking that that Gastly knockout. They are just gonna hit into this Sobble, and you know what? That's completely fair and reasonable. Now that is gonna be a big part of this matchup, I think. The fact that our opponent accelerates energies using their Houndoom. They get damage counters on them from that. So that could be a big deal. Let's Evo Incense. We're gonna grab. Let's grab a Drizzile here. Unfortunately, we don't have any damage on this Tornadus, sorry. So it's not really worth getting the Gengar into play. We will Level Ball, though. We'll grab another Drizzile, I think. We only have 1 Drizzile left in the deck, so that means that there's 2 in the prizes. This Trainer Search is going to be an interesting one. I don't want to evolve into the Gengar this turn. I think I'm going to play down Old Cemetery, and then I'm going to Marnie and leave that bench space open so that we can potentially get the Haunters into play. Actually, we can just pass, right? We've got the Gengar, we've got the energy. If they knock out the Gastly, we get 2 Haunters in play and we start attacking. That would be fantastic. And to be honest, I think this is probably the smartest thing to do. It is a shame, though, that the deck relies so heavily on 2 stage 2 lines. Obviously, if your opponent can't get around it, like at the moment, our opponent might not be able to get around this Gastly. So that is always a good thing. But it does struggle because we are going to be a couple of prizes behind. Let's, oh my goodness, why are we being punished so hard? We get Marnied out of a brilliant hand, and now our opponent is going to just absolutely smack us around. We have to top deck a supporter. We have to top deck a supporter at this point. At least we have an Inteleon in our hand, and at least we're getting 2 Haunters out of the deck. So let's grab them both. We can throw those Haunters down. It seems like it was a smart thing for us to do to promote the Gastly, but that's, you know, be that as it may. What do we get? A Boss's Orders. Okay, well, let's evolve into Inteleon. We can Shadow Pain Gengar. It has free retreat, so we can put it in the active. And that's going to put a bunch of damage counters onto the Dene, which I do like. Then we can... What can we do here? Do we put... I think we just gust this Tornadus into the active and try and stall them out for a bit. Well, quick shooting. I'm going to put some more damage on this Dene because maybe we could eventually get the knockout and then I can pass. Actually, what I should have done is I should have gone into the Gastly. Should have retreated into the Gastly, because if they can get a knockout here, then I'd rather have another Haunter in play than a Gastly. But that's okay. They're going to knock the Gengar out. They cannot knock the Gengar in the active out unless they get some extra modifications to their damage. So they may have to give themselves... Oh, hello. Marnie. They may have to give themselves some damage using Houndoom to try and get themselves going, but we have pretty much everything that we need. We've got a Gengar, we've got a Research. There's nothing to be ashamed of here. Gengar is just a smidgen too big for this Tornadus to deal with, which is quite ironic. They're going down to 3 prizes. We are still well and truly in this game, as long as we can get a a solid turn. Let's throw down the Gengar. At least we've got that now if we need it. We'll throw down the Snorlax as well, even though I don't think it's going to be relevant. We hit the Triple Excel, and we get the second Inteleon. That's very, very good. Let's quick shooting into the Tornadus twice. That will put it on 60 damage, which means that we're going to be dealing quite a lot. Let's grab ourselves another Gastly with the Level Ball here. We can throw down the Gastly, we can throw down the Haunter, we can attach the Triple Acceleration Energy, and now we're going to Pain Burst. Now, I don't think this knocks out, but it gets really close, I think. It's about 200, yeah, 250, so we're 10 damage off. Okay, all right. So, our opponent will either knock our Gengar out, as they should, unless if they boss around, we are in trouble. Regardless, they can't knock out both Inteleons this turn, which means that next turn we're guaranteed 3 prizes. And we also have boss's orders to boss up that Dedenne if they do knock out the Gengar. Because if they knock out the Gengar, then we can just use the last gift ability, grab Gengar, grab Triple Acceleration Energy, use the boss, knock out the Dedenne, which will put us 1 prize away from winning the game. And they've done that. So we are going to go and grab ourselves Gengar, this is our last Gengar, which is a problem, and Triple Acceleration Energy. Let's throw the Gastly to the active. We will Rare Candy into the Gengar. Then we will, let's use the Quick Shooting ability first. Let's see what we get off of the prizes. Tornadus gone. 3 prizes for us. It is Drizzile, Quick Ball, and Evo Incense. Very interesting. Alright, I'm going to attach the Triple Excel. I'm going to Quick Shooting the Mew. We are going to boss up that Dedenne. And this means next turn we can use our Inteleons to knock out the Mew. We can knock out the Dedenne here. And then we should be good to go. We get an Old Cemetery and another Drizzile off of the prizes. Okay, so if they boss the Inteleon, we lose, I think. Because oh, do you know what I should have done? I should have quick balled for the last Sobble in the deck. That would have been a good call. Why did I not do that? Oh my god. Okay, well at least they need to find boss. If they find boss, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble. I think if we had a quick balled, we could have got the Sobble. I think there was one left. Could have got the Sobble, gone for the Drizzile. Oh no, this is gonna be so painful to watch. They're gonna put oh my god, they're gonna put enough damage on this Tornadus for us to kill it. Because they need to get to, oh my goodness. We have the energy as well. Oh no, I think I might have just thrown this game by not benching one Sobble. It's okay, I mean we can still win with a top deck of a research. Oh man. Oh no. I'm gonna be completely gutted if we have a Sobble in the deck. I'm just hopeful that we don't have one. Okay, so they knock out the Inteleon. We're gonna promote the Gengar. We could also top deck Triple Acceleration Energy. We could still top deck that for the game. Just a quick one. Oh my god, if there's a Sobble in here. Oh, there's a Sobble. There's a Sobble. Oh no. Did we have everything else? Did we have everything else? I'm gonna search through here. We could have researched. We have 14 cards. Oh no, heartbreak. We had a 50-50 shot. If I had have just benched the Sobble, we had a 50-50 shot of winning that game. Oh well. We're gonna chalk that one up to player error. We probably should have won that game. All I had to do was bench a Sobble. Poor Gengar. So player error cost us the game in that last one, but is this deck something that is worth picking up? Well, honestly, its playability is pretty low, and consistency-wise, it requires 2 stage 2s to be set up before you can even really deal damage. So ultimately, this one is definitely not a competitive deck list. Value-wise, however, both of these cards are really, really cheap. I managed to pick up an entire Gengar line for 1 or 2 packs on PTCGO, which is super, super cheap. And fun-wise, hey, look, the combo is great, right? When you get the attacks off, when it actually works, it feels really, really good. So overall, I'm going to give this one a C-. I think it's a fair grade. Like, it's not absolute garbage, but it's definitely on the cusp of being an unplayable brick, really. I'm sorry. Something quite important to note, though, is the fact that we have knocked Gengar off of the OG 150 challenge. You might not be aware of it, by the way. If there's a playlist that this video is in of all of the videos where I deal with the OG 150 challenge decks based around all of the original 150 Pokemon. I'm going to try and get this one finished before rotation, but there are no guarantees about that. But Gengar... Once again, another big thank you for coming along today, and thank you very much to all of my generous channel members. Thank you especially to my Ascended members, Azazel and Wilds Depot. Dadbod, you're a hero. Don't ever forget that, alright? It's okay. $80 is a lot of money to give to some random on the internet. Over here, all these people are in that Royal Sableye tier. Thank you guys very much for your generous contribution. Over this side are all of the Mega Sableyes. And don't forget, just being a regular Sableye member, it's only $3 a month. It's like a cup of coffee. It's fine. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. If you want to join, there's a join button down there. There's a subscribe button. There's a like button. Click all the buttons. Click every button that there is. And I'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Don't click the X button, though. That closes YouTube.